Thank y'all for staying. We appreciate you participating. So what we'll do is we want to pitch this to as many people as wanted to hear it, and then officially to the Administrative Council. This is such a marquee space and so important to the life and history of your church, and I get that entirely. So we want to give every single person the opportunity to see it and hear it. We're actually recording this meeting as well, so anyone who missed it can watch it online, and I'll repeat any questions you give me so that they have them on the video as well. So Norman, I believe, figured the meeting was in the sanctuary, which would make sense. But there's a bunch of wires and scaffolding and stuff in the sanctuary, so I don't want a bunch of people, my mother would say, traipsing back and forth in that space. So I hope these pictures will suffice. While he's coming, I'll explain it to you. This is our current sanctuary. So if you're looking at it, the pulpit is on the front left, right? And the lectern is on the right. And then the kneeling prayer rail for communion is in front of that. Nothing there changes. That stays exactly the same. On the back is the altar and all the measurements of the altar. And the organ, those don't move either. Those, we know the significance and logistical significance as well of those things being in those places. The trouble that we currently have is a good thing. We have more choir members, and we'll continue to have more choir members. So the struggle that the space places on the choir is that the elevation changes middle out. Y'all notice that from the seats? If I were standing right here, dead center, and the altar were behind me, the elevation would change this way, which doesn't necessarily help in seeing nor projection nor seeing. It would be better for the elevation to change this way, front to back, as opposed to this way. The pews are restrictive, and the wall in front of them, if you see from altar straight down, are two rectangles that are currently the wall that's there. Y'all familiar with the wall? It's about right here, right? And it goes the length of the choir loft. And this goes the length of the choir loft here, this wall. They are I forget the term that's, it's a knee wall. It's you know what I'm saying? You got dresses, and the wall helps. Okay, so Norman's here. I'm gonna tag out. Norman, you're a good man. We were given.
You already ruined it.
No, I've only described the problem.
Norm West.
Good to see you, Norm. You want to talk from there? So I'll tell you why Norm is in front of you. We were given a generous donation from a family years ago, and the idea was to somehow make worship better. And we looked at different ways, and when this idea came, we said, what about more seating for the choir? And I said, Norman, you're a good man, you're a smart man, you know what you're doing. You do need it because we're recording it on video.
Oh, you're going to record what I say?
You can stand there if you want.
Go
to the pulpit, Norman.
Already said. Does everybody understand what our prime objective is?
I just described the current state, that's it.
Our prime objective is to grow the choir. That's one. But the most important one is changing the direction that our choir has to face. Instead of facing each other, they would like to look out and face all these beautiful faces. So that's the two main reasons that we're doing it. We're ready to get started. I just need, if Joe has answered questions, I'll go ahead and sit down. Okay. Pardon me? Can't do that from here, can I? Let me say this. I think it's pretty obvious what we're going to do is we're going to turn the seating facing outward. Currently, we are capable of seating on a Sunday 21 people. And that's not comfortable, but I have seen 21 people packed into the choir loft. We want to extend that to 31. That is the maximum amount of seating capacity that we can have based on the architectural drawings that I have here and that up there. Please speak up because I don't have my hearing aids on.
We're going to switch it to the next slide and you're going to describe it. Here. Put that on your ear.
Put this on my big ear.
Now you're.
Okay. Let me back up so I can see it. I don't have my glasses either.
Norman.
Okay, for an old handicapped man. As you can see, the layout that we currently have, we're going to use those two front knee walls that you see to relocate knee walls. We're going to bring those knee walls in. We'll have 4 feet, 1.5 inches of open clearance to the altar. We currently have 8 feet, 8 inches. So I want to bring those two walls in, the two knee walls in, 2 feet, 2 inches. That way it helps the girls out, okay? But the main thing is to keep that passage open so that Joe can go to the altar. The beauty of having it done like this is we will be capable of adding an additional 2, 4, 6, 8 chairs in that center aisle if the occasion arises that we need that many. The chairs that we're going to put in there are going to be mobile. They won't be stationary. So we can move and do what we need according to what situation we have. There will be 3 elevations. We will start at the altar. That's 1. And you can see that there are 9 seats on that side. And all of that. These elevations will go all the way to the wall. And then we'll drop down to another 5.5 inches down to the second elevation. You'll have 10 seating capacity there. And then we'll go to ground zero, which is 10 more seats. We have access through the doors on both sides coming in, and then we can go down. The choir members can go down either on the outside or the inside. We have not determined what to do about the color of the carpet. That I'm going to need some help on. Not to donate, to help pick colors. Okay? Pardon me? We have in the choir, actually, the existing way it's set up, we have old asbestos tile. That tile has to come out. Okay? But what we're going to do, the new entry to the altar, it was suggested to me this morning that we change the color so that we are making that a separate room. But it's still part of the sanctuary as far as colors. Now that was something that was just told to me. I hadn't had 10 minutes to think about it. But we can go back with carpet all the way through because all 3 elevations will be the same. Or we can go down the center with a new carpet and do vinyl on where the altars are. Have I confused you totally? Yes, ma'am.
Carpet, and I'm not a musician. Do we need carpet where the choir is, or do we need something else there for then
Well-
maybe have a carpet thing that goes up to the altar.
A leader, yes, I agree with that.
I mean, I'd have to ask the musicians if that's something that would be effective for the
I would think you would want a hard surface underneath the fire.
Okay, that's what I was talking about. That decision has not been made, and actually, I do not want to make that decision until we actually have the new elevations in place. That way, we can also put some chairs in there.
Hardwood is best for.
I agree with you.
Repeat that for the video.
The hardwoods would be better as far as I'm concerned, as far as sound. Also, it's the easiest to maintain. And it also is better safety purposes. Some of you are a little bit older than I am. They sing in the choir, and I don't want anybody to fall or trip on carpet. So a smooth surface would be ideal in my opinion. Any more questions?
How much space are you taking away from the space that is there now?
We have 8 feet 8 inches currently. We're going to reduce it down to 4 feet 6 inches.
Half of it?
Half of it. What we're going to do is the first knee wall that you see on ground zero, where it says to relocate the knee walls, you see back all the way to both sides of the wall, you'll see a dark space. We're going to move that out, but when I take out the 2 knee walls that go all the way up to the altar, the current condition that it is, we will have, I can use the same wood. It's the same height. I'll need 2 feet 3 inches out of each one of them. And then we'll have finished carpenters who will do it, not framing contractors. Yes?
The thing I think that Dixie might be questioning is, on the altar, you've got a centerpiece that's boxed, and it has an emblem on it, and then you've got 2 side panels. What I understand is it may cover up the 2 side panels, but it's going to leave that space in the center that is 4 feet, a little over 4.
Now, would that be one of the most beautiful parts of our sanctuary to me is like during a wedding service, when the bride and groom go up the steps to the altar? Is there enough space for that to happen still?
Beautiful way that we're going to do this is all those chairs are mobile. We can pick them up and move them out. That was one of the main reasons that we're not going to put the old seating back in there.
Some of the choir will be in front of that altar. Some of the choir will be seated in front.
You'll only have 1 seat on the side of the organ and 1 seat on the other side that will be in front of the altar. And you can see how it trickles down 3 more seats or 3 seats total. Now, right now, we don't have 31 people to sing in the choir. But maybe in 2 years we will. Sure.
So this was confusing to me in the beginning. I thought the narrowness of the opening then extended all the way back to the altar. With the wall, with the pre-existing wall that's there, I thought those pre-existing walls would also close in much tighter and only be 4 feet apart. And the thing that occurred to me was, a wedding was the exact thing, was when we're in here and those walls are now half as wide. That's not near enough, and the maid of honor and the groomsmen have to stay down. But I was wrong because the wall's not there anymore. This wall that extends from that one that is extending to the altar is gone. So it's actually much wider. And what you see is maximum capacity of the seating, of which when we do maximum capacity for big holidays, then we obstruct a number of things anyway. The significance being we don't have 4 folding chairs from the social hall out in the middle there and everybody else in pews, or the instrumentalist down there. It's malleable. So you do have 3 seats on each side that are now in front of a portion of the altar at maximum capacity. But it's not a given. And the wall, I about panicked the day I thought the wall was there. It's not. So I think that's an important distinction.
Pardon?
Every seat is mobile.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Are all the seats mobile?
Yes, all the seating will be mobile.
We don't mobile.
I'm not making that decision. The choir director has shown me pictures of some possibilities, but that decision will be left up to.
2 things I got here. One is the aesthetics of whatever that seating's going to be.
Right.
I think it needs to blend with the wood that we've got.
I do too.
Second thing is, I think one big concern is, I just went through this with a wedding committee, is when you're choking that down to 4 feet, some of these wedding dresses get on out there, so what's the flow of getting up through there with a...
All those seats, listen, all those seats are mobile. They come out.
I know
We can
we're
empty
talking-
them.
We're talking about 4 feet right here.
Oh, 4 feet coming into the entrance of it.
Right.
No, it's not a 4 foot coming into entrance, okay? There's a chair there. There's no wall there anymore.
No, I'm talking about the 4 feet right here. When you're walking up, this is 4 feet. Get beside me.
Yeah,
If you're my bride,
Okay.
you got a big dress.
okay, I do.
See what I'm saying? And I guess, if anybody from the wedding committee here? Allison, are you on the wedding committee?
Well, let me have that.
Yeah. Who's on the wedding committee? Okay. What I'm saying is,
You're talking about this area from this point to
from there
this
there.
point.
I mean, there's big wedding dresses.
All right, now, nothing is written in concrete right at this moment. If you want to take this out and move the wall back over to where it was, do the same thing on this side, take that out, move that wall back over and to this point, then you'll have 8 feet, 8 inches. But the reason for this and that wall is for the ladies, if you have on dresses. But they all have robes on normally. Yes, sir.
Is it possible to create that same effect, but have some portion of the very end of the wall at the aisle to be removable for those occasions? When you move the chairs out, move the portion of that,
I'm assuming you're talking at this point.
some portion of that wall, make it where it can be easily removed.
So repeat that and then answer.
Is it possible? Is it possible to do that right there? I have 2 gates. This is already, where are my 2 gates?
In the choir.
Oh, you have them?
Well, they're not gates, they're doors.
Doors, that's what they were. Yeah.
But what they're asking is,
Could that be mobile? Could this be hinged?
like on a, or on a track,
On a track? Well, one at a time, please. I can't hear anybody but one.
Not necessarily on a track, but that knee wall, that privacy wall will be affixed to the floor permanently. Okay, so what I was suggesting is the last couple of feet of that wall or the panel be something that you could unbolt from the floor and remove for a wedding. Something where you or Rodney, we even talked about you could hinge that last 2 feet and it could fold in.
That's what I was talking about, right here.
Right.
Go over 2 feet, 6 inches, put a hinge on it, take that 90-degree out right there, and let it swing back.
Right.
Man, I'm nervous. Look at me shaking. The more we do, the more changes that we do, the more it's going to cost us. But what we want to do has got to last for the next 50 years.
That's right. Norman, one question.
I'm sorry, I'll be back over. No, I'd already walked over here.
Well, I don't actually have a question, I just have a suggestion.
Sure.
Why not just leave those walls that we're talking about right now where they are currently? And those 6 chairs on the inside, don't put those there except when they're needed.
That's wonderful.
So repeat that.
Whoa, where'd it go? I hope there's somebody who knows how to operate this. I don't. Okay. You're talking about this wall right here. Leave it where it is. No. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say no. I didn't hear you, is what the problem is.
Yeah, leave those walls where they are, currently where they are.
Yes.
And the 6 chairs that are on the inside,
These 3 and these 3.
only put those there when they're needed. Don't have them up there all the
Yeah,
time.
I don't foresee, actually, unless I'm wrong, our choir director, well, this would be a better question for our choir director. Hello, we're talking about you. Those 3 seats right there, can we justify 3 seats now?
Well, when we have, like Christmas music, obviously we need more. Well, and I was just looking, one of the other issues is personal space. And currently it's quite crowded. And so chairs, if you were to, let's say, not need those 6 chairs, it still would be nice if the other chairs were not smushed beside each other to allow the choir to have more personal space.
Yes.
Does that answer your question?
The architects designed the seating capacity in a 2-foot by 2-foot box. Okay? Now, of course,
Well, and-
that chair is not,
right, I was gonna say, I think the chair's not quite that wide. Any of them are not quite that wide.
any more questions? Oops.
You said one reason to make that more narrow is because of the ladies with dresses and all
Yeah.
that. It rotates.
I know that.
99% of the time requires them to be rotated.
At all my other meetings concerning this, that is one of the major issues with the ladies, and
I think it would look better with the wall there.
I do too.
I think it'd be good. It needs a wall. Personal wall.
Are there any more questions?
Well, the wall there too would sort of maintain the appearance that we have now. And it would, I think, which is a concern of a lot of people, not changing it too much, but having a wall. And I think what's being raised are issues that can be talked about, and certainly, because like Norman said, nothing's been done yet. And I think all the suggestions are good, and it sounds to me like they're workable suggestions. It's just, taking them in and saying, okay, now we have these ideas and we can go from here. So that it's not saying, no, we can't do that, or definitely, yes, we can.
There's nothing that we can't do, okay?
It's just
I think
hearing.
it's very important, if you're going from pews up there to chairs, the way those chairs look, it's going to be very important, because it's going to change the look
Yes.
of what's up there. So whoever decides what kind of chairs and what they're going to be, I think that's just going to be vitally important, because it's going to change the way it looks
Absolutely.
from the congregation, from the moment you walk in.
Could I use that to repeat everything?
Pardon me?
Could I use that to repeat everything?
Okay.
First of all, Norman, I'm grateful for your time and your connections and the people that you asked. So if y'all will express your gratitude to Norman. Thank you. So that you understand, and then so that the video understands, and so that we can repeat every question. The walls that are the first point going up those stairs are potentially coming in for the look of continuing the look of the space and just the visual of it, but potentially not. We leave them exactly as they are, and there's just people out on the edge of them on enormous days, right? The pews would go away and would be replaced by individual seats that provide more comfort and also have a basket under them for all the choir's stuff. And I can tell you that, I'll address the choir in worship, and I see the ones that are sitting here looking like this at me. There's nothing comfortable about being there. I can tell you also that you never want to look more than 80% full, because whoever's looking thinks, well, there's no room for me up there. And they look more than 80% full on a number of Sundays. So taking out the wall to the altar gives us a chance to change the space. Giving individual seats gives more comfort to a group that gives us a great deal. Turning them towards Renessa helps the visual and the sound. And that's it. So then the questions are, can the wall remain where it is? Can a statement, not a question, is the seats are critically important, the way that they look? Should we choose to do this, then we need to be very careful about the seats we pick. Another question is, can the wall have some sort of attachment on it of which we can change the length of it, which I think is interesting.
Don't we have up in the third floor of the education building, maybe Norman knows, we've got a big rail up there that fills in that whole part at the community rail, don't we? You know that knee wall? Yeah, we have a whole portable wall that if we want to close the whole.
Right.
We've got that.
I've seen that before. So there's precedent in the opposite direction, the other part of the puzzle piece, to do that.
So there's provisions, and I think we really need to consider that part where we choke that down to 4 feet.
Mm-hmm. To be clear, I think it actually says 5 3/4. But anyway, all right. So the thing that we want to decide here is administrative council is next. Do you want administrative council to pursue this project is one? Do you want them to proceed with great caution on certain aspects is two? If those things are right, do you want them to proceed while we're already over here and just stay over here until it's done, and when we go back, it's a sparkling new space that's ready to go?
One thing I think we need Norman to tell us is, what is the duration, what kind of time are we looking at that will be out of sight for this next? I have spoke with several general contractors, and as you well know, this time of year is their busiest time of year. I have one contractor who I have done work with. He's saying that he can get in and get the platforms built, and he can do it in 6 to 10 days. This is not major renovation. This is minor renovation. But I need to let them know, because we're going to be finished inside the painting within well, he told me no later than Friday. It's coming Friday. And I would love to get him in there. Longer we're out, we have to meet here. Okay. So my question for the administrative board is, what kind of timeline are we looking at? Let's just say this, for common sense, how many more Sundays are we looking at for being out of sync? I hope no more. Well, if we can get an okay to go today, it's very possible that I can get it done within the next 2 weeks.
So the question being the duration, and the answer is 2 or 3 more weeks. But to me, the significance of the speed is not as important as the significance of you buying in. If we're out of there another day or we're out of there another week, so be it. what I want is to understand from you if you buy into this project. So I need your feedback.
And if we had done right, everything thought out, if it takes 6 weeks.
Right.
These people that stay, they're passionate about this church, and they've stayed through lunch hour and whatnot. I want it to be what our congregation wants. And I want it to be, like Morgan said, 54 years down the road.
Right.
This church will be here. But I want them to know that they had a piece in it, that they had a voice in it, and it was done aesthetically and well thought out.
So would you like to advise our board? Would you like to tell our board to please hold on? I'll ask you that. Pete.
I think it's a great idea. I think we need to move forward on it. Let's pay special attention to how we're going to deal with the railing in the front. I think the idea about something being mobile or fitting that piece into the existing situation are ideal, and that the chairs need to be very for something.
So that's one that's interested in doing it. Yes, ma'am.
I just would like to say, as a note of thinking in a positive way, the smaller details I can be concerned about because I don't know about construction. But I do want to say that I think one of the most meaningful and worshipful things that we have in our services is our choir.
Mm-hmm.
We are blessed that we have the choir that we have and their dedication. And I do know that for them to be seated, looking out at us, we will notice a real positive experience.
So her comment being choir is a significant part of what we do. Helping them in any way is a big deal. Any other input that you want for certain administrative council to have?
What the chairs might look like, so we have some kind of idea.
Color or...
You know what the chairs are going to look like, because that's going to make a huge difference, because it's not a new sanctuary, it's an old, beautiful sanctuary.
Right.
If you put a metal chair in there, it's not going to work.
No, it's not like this. I can't speak for certain, and I'll never speak about color, ever. But the spaces that I've been in, including a church that was the one I was an associate in, they're a large square and they're a nice, beautiful chair that, of course, the color has a big deal, but it's not a slung together thing that you'd see at a park. It's a very nice chair that hopefully improves.
When I met with the architect, I stressed to him
Just put it right there.
that the integrity of the existing choir law has to stay that way. I do not want a dramatic change. People do not like dramatic changes in their life. I'm kind of easing in on, this is a real easy, visually beautiful. I think it'll be even more attractive with the beautiful people in our choir finally facing that, maintaining the integrity of the church and the ambiance of our church, all the beautiful stained glass. That's my top priority. I'm not going to let anything happen in there that's going to take away from that. I just want you to understand that the architect, we went through a lot of discussions concerning how to do this. This was the simplest, most least impact on the visual side of it. To get the maximum amount of seating, I think the architects did a great job laying this out. And I told them we wanted to keep it simple, and he did.
I think it's important to move forward. I think that we just move forward with change, with the chairs and the knee wall and things like that. But I do think it's important that we move forward.
Whether we get back to the chairs and the seats up there, and can I ask you?
We can't hear you.
You want this?
Yeah, give it that.
And the comment as he's coming was, I think it's important to move forward, but move forward with caution.
And I'm referring to Renessa for this, because I ask you individual seating, and I agree with you. I think everybody needs their own little space. Don't get me wrong. But I'm talking about, is it going to be individual chairs? Are we going to do like stadium seating that's wood. I think wood grain is something that we really need to look at. We're talking about colors and things, but to blend in with what we've got there now, you're looking at just individual chairs.
There are lots of chair options.
It'll be on the video.
Some are larger than others. Some have the baskets underneath the seat for music. Some have a rack on the back of the chair. I'm not sure I'm sure there are perhaps some wooden backed chairs. The ones that I think are more commonly used today are of fabric and, you know, a variety of neutral colors, and then the wooden frame. There's tons of options when you look at that. And honestly, we've not looked at one chair and said, oh, this is the chair, because it needs to be something, just like everybody said, that the church loves and matches the sanctuary and looks appropriate. And there are tons of different options. Another option that nobody has really talked about is when we have instruments. This would be a great way for us to place a trumpet player or a violin player, move a few of the chairs around, to have them in a better location. Currently, when we have any instrument players other than Don, it's kind of tricky trying to put them anywhere to follow and watch me, or to follow with Don, or with the choir. So that's another really big plus about the chairs and being able to move the chairs around. But there are lots of chair options.
Other feedback that you really want us to hear? Yes, ma'am.
I think it's a great idea too, Pastor, but I'm just confused about the knee rail.
Why it needs to come out further?
No, just someone saying leave them where they are. Do they mean where they are now, or where they are in that picture?
When we say leave them where they are, you think of two. Okay, there's the ones coming this way that are going to extend out. There's the ones going that way that will go away. The question is, these go away still, and don't extend this out. Just leave it like it is. Leave the width of this wall coming in behind the pulpit exactly where it is.
So is that saying leave those two little walls that are perpendicular to the altar now?
Gone.
Okay, good, thank you.
We would perpendicular gone no matter what, to allow for flexibility. It's whether this wall coming in from this side and from that side comes in further for visual, or does not, or is some sort of flex.
Thank you.
I don't need one of those.
Yeah, but they do.
Oh, they do, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. There was two comments I wanted. One, I wanted to piggyback on something Ellen was, I think, implying to, and I think we need to be cognizant of, is that it's not just a matter of color of the chairs, it's style, because there's a certain age style of our sanctuary. The age style of the chairs needs to be like that. They can't be contemporary, or they can't be something that's totally out of place in that particular sanctuary. But I do think it's an excellent idea, and I really think it would give us a lot of flexibility to do a lot of new things and a lot of creative things with the music part of our sanctuary. And it's been well done.
Anything else? Who would decide on the chairs? It's going to be me. I'm going to go to Staples. I'm going to figure it out. No. A group of trusted officials that I am not joining. You hear me, Ruth? A group of trusted folks that are not me.
Chair committee.
Chair committee. Let's have another committee.
Chair of that committee.
I think, I get, the thing that's concerning is how familiar it is, and that familiarity is part of the beauty. I think the escalation in the beauty you're going to get from music as well. I think you're going to lose a little bit of the beauty of how familiar it is. You're going to get, I think worship will be more beautiful. And I'm grateful that we're in a time where we're not sitting around wondering why nobody's coming. We're in a time when people are excited and they're coming, and let's take advantage of it. Anything else? Biggest thing is who picks the chairs. I'm not playing around. That's the biggest thing, isn't it? Is that the chair fit the space. Are there any concerns as big as that one? I'm serious. Anything close to that, as long as we get that right?
And the wall.
You want to hear more about whether it comes in or not? That's true, and the floor. The floor, the wall, and the chairs. But you want to go forward with the project as long as we get those right. Is that right? Okay. Well, thank you for your time and your input.